And lastly, with machine translation, so that you can have language translation. These are just stunning, amazing breakthroughs. When I studied computer science in grad school, I never thought I would live to see the day where all this will become real, and it has. And it's not stopping. In fact, the pace with which things are changing, I've never seen anything like this. But here is the interesting thing. Just celebrating these research breakthroughs as research breakthroughs is of no use. The question is, can we take all of these research breakthroughs and make them available to every developer and every organization in Mexico today as tools so that they can go on to drive their applications, their organizations? That's really the democratizing force that we want to be. And so that's what Microsoft is doing. We're taking all of this technology and putting it as part of Azure. So you have a fantastic tool chain for doing your own machine learning, right? We want you to build your own AI. It's not about, AI is not about few companies and few countries. AI is a tool for every organization in every country and for every developer. We want to bring that tool chain that allows you to create more AI. We want you to have the best infrastructure, whether it's GPUs, FPGAs, so that you can create your own AI. We want to give you tools to be able to mine knowledge from your data. And lastly, whether it's speech, whether it's machine translation, whether it's cutting-edge computer vision, all of these are just APIs that are available in the cloud so that you can incorporate inside of your applications. And in fact, build your own agents. Today, a lot of people talk about voice assistants. We want every brand to have, just like they have a website or they have a mobile app, we want every brand to have their own agent, their own voice assistant. Because our vision is to democratize this, not to create these marketplaces through which you have to be disintermediated. But we want to democratize the ability to create AI. Now, we are also building the layers above what is infrastructure, data, and AI. When we talk about Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365, these are just not applications. Of course, they have a ton of value so that you can subscribe to them and use them out of the box as SaaS services. But the most interesting thing that is happening here is the data that is inside of these applications, which is, by the way, your data, your organizational data, is being converted into value for you. It's being converted into insights for you so that you can automate your workflows. You can bring, for example, not only the knowledge workers inside your organization, but even the first-line workers. So this could be the retail specialist, could be the person in the factory floor working with people in HR or in sales, all collaboratively and communicating, as well as having workflow automation. That's the world we envision by bringing these SaaS applications together so that they can be very much core part of your business transformation. Now, having talked about all this technology, perhaps one of the greatest privileges I have is to come to a country like Mexico and learn about how is all this being used. Because ultimately, we're talking about tech intensity. And one of the things that's most exciting is no longer is there a gap or a distance between some of these technologies and the breakthroughs, their diffusion so that they're available in the marketplace here in Mexico, and most importantly, what you all are able to do with this technology to reshape and move your organizations forward. So I just want to give you a couple of the examples I learned on the way up here. So for example, one of the companies I got to know is Gran Portuara. And now this is a trucking company, from what I understand, with 500 plus trucks. Now, one of the greatest challenges of any logistics company is, can they have real-time insights into what's happening in their operation? And in the past, it was all about manually trying to get messages across. So what they did is, let's just put computers, essentially, in the truck. In other words, trucks are just computers on wheels, because they have now IoT sensors everywhere. So everything that needs to be analyzed is being analyzed in real time. So data is streaming. The data is not only streaming, but it's also being analyzed using machine learning models. and it's being distributed back as insights, alerts to the people using a mobile app they built using Xamarin. So the ability to have that complete round trip of insights in a real-time way is sort of very important. Transportation and logistics in any country is a large part of our GDPs, and any transactional efficiency in that can go a long way to make everything, every good and service show up much faster. Now, another example is Arca Continental, which is one of the largest bottlers in the world. In fact, it's the largest Coca-Cola bottler in Latin America. Now, what they've done with analytics has been just pretty intriguing for me to learn, because of course we have a lot of data which we want to be able to harness to get insights. Let's say we have all this data around sales. So they said we want that to be converted into insights, into marketing campaigns. But they realized that it's not enough to just take their data. They wanted to conflate all of the data that's there externally with the data they have. It's that union of external data and internal data that truly leads them to insights on even driving things like marketing campaigns with precision so that that can drive sales. So they built this pipeline where they can take data from SAP and other systems, bring them to Azure, use Azure machine learning to build new models which are correlating data not only between what they have and external sources. But the most interesting thing that I found they did is they said, okay, all this is great, but we need our people to have the ability to explore this data and gain insight. So they put Excel with Data Explorer, and they're able to take all of this straight to the tool that everybody uses. So that ability to think about analytics, not just as high-end AI and data science, but ultimately the human creativity and pattern recognition is part of that workflow. And that to me was fantastic to see. Now, the next example I want to talk about is Casa Sauza, which is in agriculture. They're a 140-year-old tequila brand, which is beloved in Mexico. And the thing that I find about them is they're essentially into precision agriculture. They have, I think, 10,000 hectares of agave fields, and they're flying drones, collecting computer images. They've worked with a local partner who built a fantastic solution using cutting-edge computer vision techniques to be able to really analyze the state of the harvest and all of the things that go with it in order for them to improve the yield. So this ability to have the cutting-edge computer vision translate into a precision agriculture solution that then drives productivity of this organization is sort of really what's, I think, showing how tech intensity can be brought to pretty much every industry, and in this case, the oldest of all industries. The next example I want to talk about is Cemex, which, of course, is a multinational company that operates in 50-plus countries, is also 112 years old, and has 40,000 employees. So it's a big, large organization. And one of the things that I found about the leadership of this organization is they committed saying, look, we are not just going to adopt some new technology because it's more convenient. So they are using Microsoft 365 and Office 365. But they also decided that they're going to use these tools as instruments of cultural change within the organization. And they came at it from two ends. The top of the organization, as well as the bottom of the organization, for example, decided to be intensely on Yammer. And as a person who also uses Yammer inside my organization, it completely changes the general tenor of your company. What I mean by that is everybody is able to, without any hierarchy, ensure that they are in sync. They're able to communicate. They're able to express themselves in the context of what that organization's mission is. It can be a massive, massive unlock for how organizations' culture can be transformed because of this next level of collaboration and communication. So it's very inspiring to see this come about in a company that has that kind of storied history. And now, this is not all about just large businesses. To me, one of the key things, and especially in a country like Mexico, we have to make sure that the benefits of digital technology reach the smallest of businesses, and it's possible. With the cloud and cloud services, it's so much more possible for us now to be able to truly democratize that access. And this is a local zoo that I got to know about, and it's amazing what they're doing, right? Just, they have 10,000 visitors, but it's a small organization. So they needed a system that didn't have these silos between the front office and the back office. They needed to make sure that they had this one system. So the combination of Dynamics 365 and Microsoft 365 gave them the ability to even introduce services that are for tour parties who come. So that ability for even the smallest of businesses to be able to improve their own service for their customers using technology is one of the drivers of GDPs in countries like Mexico that I think is super important. Now,